Hey, take a look at some of these really cool Collograph prints that I made. A collograph is a basic method of printmaking using a board with collage materials glued onto it to form a relief surface with a variety of textures. So what we're going to start off doing today is begin painting my white piece of paper with some watercolors and applying it in a random way. So you'll notice I have got two different methods or two different examples to show you, so it might spark or inspire you using some creativity in deciding how you want to paint and design your assignment. Once you've got your background painted, now we're going to start making the printmaking plate. So I'm going to grab a piece of cardboard, and on that piece of foam, I am drawing out some examples of pictures that you can add to your cardboard. You'll notice that the foam is the same size as the cardboard. So it kind of gives me an idea of when I draw what's going to be able to fit onto the cardboard. Once you've got your idea drawn onto your foam, then take a pair of scissors and begin cutting it out. Depending on how much time you have in your class, you might want to start gluing your shapes down onto the cardboard right away so that you're not worried about losing any of your pieces from one class period to the next. Make sure that your name is on the back side of the cardboard so that we all know whose is whose. Once you've got your pieces glued down onto the cardboard, take a moment and let that dry. After it's done drying and your foam pieces are not going to come off, I'm taking some black paint and I'm going to start painting over top of the foam. I like to paint over top of the foam using a brayer, but since I'm doing this at home, I'm just using tempera paint and a paintbrush. So you might do it a little bit differently, but that's okay. Just go ahead and apply your black paint onto the foam. I like to reapply certain areas just to make sure that it hasn't dried out. Once I have the black paint completely covering all of my shapes, I'm going to take some of my beautiful colored watercolor, and you can leave it the way that it is and put that on there. I decided I'm going to have enough room to fit two prints on there, so I just kind of folded it in half so that I could cut it down the middle and get two separate prints. There, now that I've got my paint placed onto my project, it looked like it was starting to dry, so I reapplied some paint. I'm going to start making my first print. I'll set this down onto the table, put the paper beautiful side down, and I'm going to gently rub the back side of the paper. As I rub, I'm trying to find all of those shapes and gently do that and peel it apart. Look at my first print. Now, I'm going to do the same thing. That's what's so cool about printmaking, is that once you've done all of the work, printmaking goes by relatively quickly. You're making multiple images of the same picture. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a moment, reapply my paint onto the foam, take my second piece of watercolor paper, and massage or rub onto the back side to ensure that I get a nice print from my foam onto the beautiful paper. Peel it. Oh, I love the way that turned out. I think it looks so cool against that pastel background. That was awesome. Let's try another way of doing this same project. Just a little bit of variety into deciding the way you want to do it. So just like in the first example, take your watercolor and start placing it onto your paper. I went ahead and instead of doing a random pattern like I did in the first one, the second one, I'm making it more of a concentric circle, like a rainbow. Okay, so like I started with my yellow, to my orange, to my red, to my purple, to my blue, in the color order of a rainbow. And those concentric circles will continue out all the way to the edges of the paper until it's filled. Now, just like in the first example, while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and start making my printmaking plate. Okay, so to begin making my printmaking plate, doing the same steps that I did in the first example. Have the foam the same shape as your cardboard, your printing plate, and do the same thing that you did before. I've got my shapes drawn on, and once I've drawn them on, I'm going to cut them out and glue them onto the piece of cardboard. Once I let that set aside to dry for a little bit, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab my paint and start placing that on top of my foam shapes. I thought it might not be such a good idea to be doing this on top of my painting. I'm afraid that the black paint might get on there where I don't want it. So set that aside for a little bit and continue painting your printing plate. Applying the ink or the paint in a nice manner, trying to make it as even and smooth as possible. Now I'm going to take my printing plate onto my watercolor painting. I'm going to set that in the corner, and I'm going to massage the back side of my cardboard. As I lift, you can see my print. I'm not 100% happy with the print, but I'm going to show you a way that you might be able to fix that at the end. But I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. I cannot place it in the same exact spot as I did before, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my best. The other thing I'm going to do is put a little dot by the heart so I always know where the center of the print plate should be. I'm going to massage the back side. I did a much better job this time. I tried to massage it a little bit more evenly, and that first one doesn't look like a failure to me right now. It was a learning experience. Okay, the first print plate, I probably didn't smooth the back side down well enough. So the second one, I tried to do a better job of pressing down with my fingers. I'm massaging the back. I'm not ever pounding on the cardboard. I'm just going to rub the back side and try to make it as even as possible, ensuring a good print. Oh, so much better, and this is so much fun. I love this project. I think it's turning out really great. I'm going to continue doing that one more time. Again, focusing in on where the center of my project is. In my example, it's the heart, and use that in the center so that it makes a radial balance going around. There's my dot, telling me where the center is, and again, doing an excellent job massaging the back side of the cardboard. Oh, I love it. Now, because my first heart didn't really turn out, I'm going to just take my painting brush and do the very best that I can, filling in some of those gaps that I couldn't see before. I'm not worried too much about the outside figures. I just want the inside to look nice. Oh my gosh, I love this project, and I hope you do too. Thanks for watching.